My name is Ivana Chase, and I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt alone, unsupported, overwhelmed to the point where you're just trying to make it through the day with whatever energy, strength you have left? I have too. And that's why this podcast exists. Because in the military world, whether you're a spouse, active duty, a veteran, a parent, a loved one, or simply someone who genuinely supports our community, you deserve a place where you feel seen, a place where you feel understood, a place where you can breathe again. For over 10 years, I've worked in behavioral change, holistic health and life coaching, and in that time, I've learned something powerful. Even in chaos, even in uncertainty, even in the hardest seasons, there's always a silver lining. This podcast is where we find it. Here, we talk about the real stuff. The deployments, the PCS moves, the loneliness, the resilience, the rebuilding, the victories no one else sees. We'll explore insights, philosophies, and stories that remind you that you're not walking this path alone. And you'll hear from military parents, veterans, spouses, friends, and others in our community who have their own stories to share. Stories that carry hope, honor, humor, grit, and heart. Now, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm a certified health and life coach who believes deeply in the power of positivity, grounding, and human connection. And since my launch of the podcast in January of 2023, it's been my mission to give our military community a place to land, a place to reset, a place to feel whole again. Episodes released twice a month. They're short, real, and designed to meet you exactly where you are, whether you have 6 minutes or 60. So imagine this. I'm walking out the kitchen with a tray of tiny espresso cups, still warm from the stove. I hand one to you. We sit, we breathe, we talk, we laugh, we cry, and we get through it together. Welcome to the space where we bring victory back into your life gently, honestly, and in the healthiest of ways. Welcome to Coaching the Brave podcast with Ivana Chase. Thank you for listening. Enjoy. Hello, Coaching the Brave community. Thank you so much for listening to me, for picking my show to listen to. I really, really appreciate you. You have no idea. I hope that you are having a splendid weekend and week. And today, who we're going to be talking with is one of my really good friends. She and I met so strangely, but it was a wonderful meeting. And you know, when you have friends that you can grow with and really explore your business opportunities with and just network together and support each other, this is her. I hope that you can enjoy her story. She is a proud U.S. Army soldier with 16 years of active duty service, currently stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. She serves as an Army logistics officer and has completed 2 combat tours to Afghanistan. Her military journey has shaped her leadership, resilience, and commitment to service. Values she carries with pride, both in uniform and out in the community. I say from boots to crown because this woman is unstoppable. Her name is Frankie Purdie, and I hope that you enjoy her interview. And please go follow her, watch her journey. Enjoy! Frankie Purdie, I am so excited to see you again. The first time our recording happened, it completely just stopped. And it did not record. And I know things happen for a reason, but I was so upset. I was like, no, but I'm very happy to have you back on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I really appreciate, we've been trying to make this happen for, I want to say like a few years now. And I really appreciate you staying on top of me. And I really appreciate your support. I just really appreciate your friendship. Just to tell your viewers, I did my very first oil event with you. Like we did it together. That was like my first step into my oil business. And so, I feel like we've been doing this together for a long time, even though we haven't been like together, but like as we've been progressing. So I just really, I think this is like a full circle moment, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I agree. I agree. And I did my first like sugar talk with you, and it's funny because I'm advertising that again as a webinar. And so just to have you here again and just to talk with you and share our story with the world, it's just so cool.
I love that for us.
Yeah, I do too. Well, the way that we met was it was at Bach, right? At Fort Campbell Community Hospital. And it was at their new mom event.
It
It was
was.
like an expo.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And you
Yes.
were like the first person that came up to me and was like, "Here, have my card." And from there it was like, "Yes, let's go." I loved your energy and everything.
Oh yeah, I definitely believe God puts people in your path for a reason. Like we might
Mhm.
not know the reason right away, but as we continue, it will make itself clear. And so I think just probably being able to watch each other's journeys. I like it's so funny. It was so long ago. I'm still not on my motherhood journey yet, but
Mhm.
I will get there one day. But watching you, continue to grow your family has been wonderful to say the least, for sure.
Oh, thank you. And when God's timing in his way and what
Mhm.
he wants
Yep.
and you are a testament to that. Your career, my goodness, is just so amazing. I can't wait to get into it. So, when we met, I had no idea you were in the military. And then we decided to meet up together at Smoothie King. I
Yep.
remember like it was yesterday.
I remember that too.
And then you were like, "Yeah, I'm an only child." I'm like, "I am too." And then you were telling me how you were in the military, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So tell us what brought you to the military.
Like my dad did some time in the military, but I don't remember because I was really young. But it was really random. So like I graduated from college in 2008. I have a BFA in fashion design. We know like around 2009 is when we had the recession and there wasn't a lot of stuff going on. So people aren't really worried about fashion design and things like that. Plus, I wasn't really prepared to move to New York or any big city or anything like that. So my mom suggested I go to a career fair. And I was like, okay. So I'm walking around, I'm looking like there's literally no one here except for like the local newspaper and like some weird jobs or whatever. And I was like, Mom, there's not really much here. She's like, well, is there an army recruiter? And I was like, yeah, there's an army recruiter over here. And she's like, well, go talk to him. And so long story short, I ended up linking up with him. I took my ASVAB, I did decent. And then it just literally took off from there. Like I want to say I met this guy maybe in July, and then I went up to MEPS and they told me I was going to leave in 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Ooh.
Yes. So left 2 weeks later. So I've been in the Army since August the 5th, 2009. And now the rest we're 17 years later and we're still going strong. So I entered the military as a specialist E4 and I am now a major O4.
Yeah.
Yeah, my past self would probably never think that I would still be here. I had an
Oh
initial
my goodness.
enlistment for 6 years, and, I surpassed that by double and some more. So, like,
Oh
it's
my goodness.
it's definitely been an interesting ride. I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm still in because I still wake up and I still enjoy what I do. Taking care of soldiers, being a leader, a mentor, being mentored, having good leaders. I just want people to experience and have what I've had. It makes me so sad when I meet
Mhm.
people who are in the military and they're not liking it because of
Mhm.
poor leaders. And I just don't want to be
Yes.
that leader to someone because I had such amazing leaders and they
Mhm.
definitely would be like, Frankie, that's not what we didn't do that for you. You better be treating these like, like that kind of thing. So
Yes, yeah.
paying it forward. Good leadership gives you good soldiers. So I definitely owe them that.
That is beautiful. And I also remember when we spoke the last time, you were saying how you love to be there on the ground, like boots on the ground with them, and that you're just one of them. You don't like to be in the background and all of that. And that really does help. I mean, I'm not in the military, but I mean, I'm sure that helps. That makes them feel very comforted and safe.
Oh yeah, the saying is I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I haven't or wouldn't do myself for sure.
Yeah, that's really, really comforting, I'm sure, for them. Awesome. And so what is your MOS?
So when I was enlisted, I was a 42 Alpha, which is a human resource specialist. When you
Okay.
transition from enlisted to officer, the MOS kind of goes away and you have a branch.
Okay.
So I came in as an ordnance officer and now I'm a logistics officer. So if I had to classify my MOS, I would say that I'm a 90 Alpha, which is a multifunctional logistician.
Okay. I have no idea what that means.
Yes. So logistics is broken up into three different categories. It's
Okay.
quartermaster, which is like your beans, boots, and bullets. So that's all of your like
Okay.
supplies. Then you have your ordnance, which is maintenance and all your ammunition. So fixing all the broke
Okay.
stuff and making sure you have bullets to fire at all
Okay.
different sizes. And then we have the last thing is transportation. So ensuring that how you get from point A to point B and back, soldier transport, movement of equipment, all of those things combined create logistics. So when I came in, I had a specialty. I was ordnance. So my focus was on maintaining and maintenance. And then when you go to your captain's career course as a captain and you complete it, they merge together. And so what a multifunctional logistician means is I can do transportation, I can do quartermaster, I can do ordnance, I can do it all.
Nice. That's
My,
amazing. Oh.
I can do it all.
Right, right, because you have your team, right? You have your all your soldiers with you,
That's
and
what
it's
you that's
definitely a team effort.
that's who's really doing the work because I'm not a subject
Yeah.
expert. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. When you have that responsibility to cover those three areas like
Hmm.
that, you really do count on your warrant officers who are like specifically niche to that specific area, and then your soldiers because they're the ones that are executing the mission set and the things that have to happen.
Look at that. You see, there's no doubt that you're a major for no reason. Like there is there is prestige in that. And you in your way of just presenting yourself and even with the way you present yourself, that just we'll get into that in just a moment, but kind of bringing it back a little bit. Was your spouse was he military too?
He was. So when we
That's right.
met, he was my S3 and I was one of the XOs down at the companies. And
Okay.
so we ended up getting together. I met him when he was on his way transitioning out. So he's been out probably, well, he got out 16, so it's been about 10 years since he's been
Okay.
out. Since he's gotten out, he's fully supported my career, has never complained about a move. Even though he's had to transition jobs and do all the things, and so I've just been really blessed that I've been able to spend a lot of time because, I've been at Campbell for a long time and we met like
That's
right when I
true.
got here. So like 2019, like because it was before COVID. So it had to have been 19
Okay.
and it's 26 and I'm still here. So I've,
Yeah.
been extremely blessed and I've been able to stabilize my family. My son
Yes.
will graduate from high school here. My husband has been able to establish himself in a career. So I feel
Mm.
blessed that we've been able to stabilize here and provide some stability for my family. That's been very important to me as I've been in for a
Yes.
long time, because you're just so used to moving every 3 years. And
Yeah.
there really is some benefit to being at a place for a while. You
Mhm.
understand the mission set, you get to know people, and then really instead of having to transition to like a new job and meet new people and do all this stuff, it's really just you transition into the job. Like luckily I have a lot of relationships in a
Okay.
lot of places and I've always been able to be very successful at my current job because what they say is not what you know, but who you know, and I know a lot of
Right.
people. So
Yep.
it's been very beneficial for me with this job because I've never been an S4 before. I'm currently S4, so I'm responsible for the beans, boots, and bullets, the fixing. Well, I don't do fixing of things, but and the movement of people and things. That's a lot. I've never had to do that
That
before, and so
is.
I've been fortunate enough to have a really good team. And like I told my team, I said if I ever have thought that I was highly, truly blessed and highly favored, it's when I walked into the shop with you guys because y'all have really carried me because I'm not a subject
Mhm.
expert in a lot of things, but because you are and y'all are really good at y'all job, y'all make me look good. So all I have to do is manage you guys and just have enough information to brief. And y'all have always, given me that. And so even though it's been a hard time, it's been an easy time at the same, if that makes any sense.
Right, it does. Because, like you said, if you have a good team, the communication just well-rounded and you all are, boom, 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 telling everybody like what's going on and everything, then yeah, it makes it for a good, a good flow.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for your husband. Thank you for him, and thank you for you, doing the everything. Like, where else have you been? Where else other than Campbell?
So I've been, let's see. So my first ever duty station was Campbell. So I spent two
Okay.
years here enlisted. Then I went to Charlottesville and I was there for 2 years. And then I left there and went to OCS. And then once I graduated OCS, I went to Korea for 1 year. And then I was at Fort Jackson for
Nice.
almost 3 years. And then I went to Triple C at Fort Lee. And then when I finished Triple C, I went to Campbell. And I was at Campbell all the way up until 24 and then got selected to go to school. So I was in Kansas for a year. And then I just got back here last summer.
Yes, I remember that. Oh, goodness. That's a nice tour, like your whole career. That's pretty nice. Are you happy that you've been to those many places?
Yeah, it's funny because of the amount of time I've been at Campbell. I have a friend who's actually been to 3 different duty stations at the time I've been here. Like I said, like if I was by myself and when I was younger and I didn't have a family and stability wasn't really that important, then moving around every 3 years is great. But for me, it's just like I appreciate having stability. I've been able to create a life here, have friends, and really
Mm.
like put in some roots, like make the purchase of my house worth it for the next
Yes.
like that kind of thing. We've had this house since it technically was almost like a wedding gift to ourselves. I think we closed like on our anniversary day in 2020.
That's fun.
So we bought this house, we lived here about a year and a half renting, and then the renter said, "Hey, we're not renting anymore. We're going to sell it. So you can either buy it or get out." And we're like, they didn't say that, but that's how I took it. So we ended up
Yeah.
just buying it, and so it's been a really good purchase because the
Oh my
housing
goodness.
market, really
Mhm.
has jumped up over the past few years. So, this will be our 6th year of owning this house. So it's really nice.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
mhm.
Yeah, that was so lucky, actually. That was really well blessed. That was really nice.
Yes, for sure.
Wow. And so you say that your son is now stabilized. He's going to graduate high school there. That is really, really fortunate, especially in Clarksville, where, you could potentially go to like college while you're, well, what is it? Go to college for free for certain majors.
Okay,
Is
I,
that how
I have
that?
to I have to look into that. I know that
Oh,
I don't
yeah, yeah.
so I'm a girl. Look, I'm gonna need to look into that because we need all the assistance we need with schooling
Yes.
for.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. See, things happen for a reason. We didn't talk about that last time.
But yeah, he actually, it's funny
Mhm.
you say that too, because he wants to go to college, he wants to do criminal justice, but he doesn't know where he wants to go. So his assignment was to find at least 3 colleges. His minimum was one, but I would like to see three. So he owes
Mhm.
that to me today. So I actually need it's funny because he texted me, asked me for a favor, and I was just like, we'll see. It's contingent on what I asked you to do. So
I love it.
look, girl, you gotta keep him honest. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Especially boys. Well, girls
Mhm.
too, but yeah.
All of them.
All of them, yeah. That's beautiful. And you are a bonus mom to him, is that right?
Yes, yes. I've been
Yeah,
in his
and you
life
helped
since
raise him.
Yep, I've been in his life since he was 5. He's 15. He'll be 16 this June. It's just funny how fast time flies because he was a little whippersnapper when we got here. I think he was like 8. So, to see him grow up here and just knowing that me and his dad have been able to provide him stability. This has probably been the longest home he's ever lived in. His mom did a lot of moving around and switching places and going here and there. And it's funny because she's not in the military. It's a blessing because that's what children need. They need stability. They need to know like this is my room. It's always going to be my room. Like my things are
Right.
going to be here because we don't think about that. I take it for granted because I didn't move around a lot when I was a kid. I
Mm.
grew up in the house my mom grew up in, like long stability, long roots. And even with
Mhm.
my dad, he's only moved twice. Like my parents are
Mm.
divorced, so he was in one house and then he moved to another house. Like I really have never like had to move. And so
Yeah.
being able to provide that for my son has just been a blessing in itself because kids really need that.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I left my parents' forever home after my dad retired to be married and, travel with my husband. When we came back, they actually moved out of their house and they were in an apartment. And so to come back, my husband and I are high school sweethearts. So his parents were still in the same house. So when we went to his house, he had his room. It was
Mhm.
there, like time never left. And then when I came home, it's like, okay, I don't have a room to come back to. So
Mhm.
I totally get it. And then I love that you are, like you said, a jack of all trades, but really you bring in the foundation to everything that you do, because not only do you excel in the military, but you have a life outside of the military, which is so different from a lot of service members. You have your business, you have pageantry, you have all these other things. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so it actually, I think a lot has to do with it of just where I am in my career right now. I'm guaranteed retirement at this point. I'm 17 years in. I have 3 years left. So there's a lot of things I guess, I can gamble with. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at things differently. I was on the grind. I was doing a lot. I've always done a lot of things, and I go back and think about it. I remember being a young kid, and like my mom was like, "Okay, we need to reduce some of your activities." She was like, I know I introduced me to a lot of things. Like I played sports. I used to go to camps. I did, Girl Scouts. I did so Girl Scout cookies. Like I've done all these different things. And I remember mom was like, you need to cut out some activities because it's, and so like the joke is I'll put one thing down and I'll pick two things up.
Yeah.
I just have a passion for a lot of different things. Like I've always wanted to be. I very much have an entrepreneurial spirit. Like I love
Yes.
doing my business and doing things. I like to help people. People look at me as like the go-to expert for things. Like I'm everyone's oil lady. I'm everyone's pageant girl. When it comes to the health and wellness, they see me and I live it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes, exactly.
what I love, my favorite thing to hear from people is the way you are when I met you is the same way you are today. And
Yeah.
not in a sense of like, like, oh, you just don't change. It's more
Right.
the level of passion you had for these things have gone unwavered. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I just try this for now and then I'm switching off to this. Like, no, I was health and wellness when you met me. I'm health and wellness today. I'll be health and wellness tomorrow. I'll be health and wellness 10 years from now. Like it's something
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about. And all the things I do are all interconnected. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about things, they're just like, you're really passionate about this. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
My dad is very passionate about things. Like when he talks, he like to get really close to you and and really like, he's very passionate about things. My
Yeah.
mom is the type of person where like, this is your craft and you have to really work to it, work at it. And so like both of those personalities together have really led me to where I am, the type of person I am today. There's things that my parents did that I was like, why are we doing this? And now I look back over it and I'm like, well, I'm glad they held me to a standard. I'm glad they did this.
Yes.
That's why I can do the military because like they're doing what I had to do growing up. They expect
Mm-hmm.
if I said I'm gonna do something or if I'm required to do something to a standard, I'm gonna do it.
Yes,
How I was
exactly.
raised. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why the army, I've been able to stick it out for all this time.
Yeah. And then, so you have health and wellness, you do your oils, you have your own product line for
Yes.
hair. That's how I met you, is with your hair products. And then you also do your pageants, your beauty pageants. Do you want to talk about that? Oh, and your podcast as well.
Yes. So, the pageantry thing was I wouldn't say it's a complete whim because I did 3 pageants when I was in high school. And so the
Yeah.
story that I tell people, and it's a real story, it's not like I made it up, but the story is that, I did a few, I wasn't good at them, and I just assumed it was something I wasn't good at, and so I just let it go and I moved on with my life. And I literally was sitting in the bed one day and I was like, I want to do a pageant. And I don't know why I thought I would want to do a pageant, but something was like, I want to do a pageant. And so I was scrolling and then Tennessee USA came up, which Tennessee, like that feeds into Miss USA. Miss USA feeds into Miss Universe, right?
Oh,
So like,
wow. Okay.
yeah, so you had to like, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just put my application in and we'll see how it goes. Well, I got accepted. Granted, they accept everybody. So not to take
Okay.
anything away from me and my performance, but still they accept everybody. So anyway, you do the things and you show up, and then like it was very overwhelming because
Yeah.
like that's a very, very competitive, very big pageant. I mean, it's like I tell people it's like the equivalent of if they're like, "Hey, have you ever held a football?" And you're like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Okay, let's go to the Super Bowl."
Oh, yeah.
It's kinda like that. It's like it's very intense. And so like I had a good time. I was the people's choice. I was Miss Congeniality and I made a top 16. So like I had a very good
Yes.
first showing. And after that I got bit by the pageant bug and I there was I made some friends because like I think pageantry goes either way. Like you have people who like sisterhood and love and care and all that, and then I think you also know people who are like catty. They're gonna cut, they're gonna break your heel. They're gonna cut the zipper out your dress. I've never experienced this. I've only
Thank
experienced the
goodness.
sisterhood.
Thank
And so I
goodness.
actually made a friend, and then that friend was in a pageant system, and she's like, "You should do this system." And so I reached out to her director, got signed up, and there was 6 ladies in my division, and I got first runner up. And I was just like, "Oh, wow, that's really great." And it was really close. That was the other thing too, like, it was close. You know what I'm saying? I was really happy for the girl that won. Sometimes you see people who when they lose, they're just like, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
was genuinely happy. I love this girl. I still talk to this girl.
Oh,
She
good.
got to crown me. It meant a lot. Like when you see my crowning moment, she's running to me and she like gives me
Oh,
like the biggest hug. And that was real. That wasn't a show or anything like that. She was
yes.
genuinely excited for me. And the one thing I really like about pageantry is the fact that it is not a competition with others, it's a competition with yourself. So
Mm,
you people think that you're competing against the other girls, but you're not. What happens is you go on stage, you give your performance, and you get a score. Whoever has the highest score wins, but it's not a comparison, if that makes sense. Like
okay.
I'm not being compared to the girl that came before me, or the girl behind me. They're looking at me.
Oh,
And so
wow.
it's really a chance for you to really pour into yourself. You know what I'm saying? Most
Yes.
pageants have an interview process, so you have to be able to talk to people. There is, a fitness portion where you get to show off your fitness capabilities, and then you get to show off your elegance in the evening gown. A lot of women find pageantry as a way to reconnect with their femininity.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for explaining all of that. Because I was just on another podcast and she was saying the same, similar aspects of pageantry and that it's not all about vanity. And I think a lot of us are normalizing that, and that's not what it is. And this
Mhm.
is so exciting to see the actual inside view of what pageantry is all about.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are
Yeah,
some systems that will say, "Hey, we're a beauty pageant." You know what I'm saying?
right.
We're beauty. You got to be beautiful. So there are those out there, but a lot of them are very tell you like, "Hey, we're only doing beauty,"
Okay.
because that's important. That I've definitely we talked about talk about my podcast, and so
Yeah.
my podcast has like a much different stuff behind it, but the overall branding of it is the Crown to Life with Frankie. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you like behind the scenes of what I'm doing. And so with the podcast, it's translating to like it's actually called behind the scenes. It's like story time behind the scenes, right? Where I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you the real deal. Like, hey, this is what it's really about. Be aware these are my opinions. My opinion may be different from someone else's opinion. And then I also have an additional segment called Crowns and Conversations, where I interview people in the pageant industry. So, I've
Oh.
interviewed judges, other queens, and then we just kind of talk about different things. So, like one segment I have coming up soon is like there's 2 sisters, they're close in age. Their mom does not let them compete against each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is
And
so fascinating.
yeah, it is because I know I have another friend and she allows her daughters to compete against each other. So, at the end of the day, someone has to win. And the way, my other friend sees it is like, if you're going to lose to your sister, but I
That's
also
true.
understand like you don't want competition to feel a certain way with your sister because your sister is
Yeah,
your unconditional like best friend. So
right.
like it's good to see things from both ways because there's opinion like one parent feels this way, another parent feels this way. I want to get both of those sides. So that's what really Crowns and Conversations is about.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yay. So go take a listen to it. I'll put all that information in the show notes. So if there was a positive statement that you would like to share with your audience and the community here, the Coaching the Brave community, what would that be? What would you like to leave them with?
Health is your greatest wealth. So what that means is there is no better investment than the investment you make in yourself,
Mm,
with whatever that means, be it, your self-care, be it your happiness, be it your boundaries, be it all the things. Your health is your greatest wealth. So invest in yourself to be the person that you want everyone to know you as.
that is beautiful. Yes. Did you want to share with the audience what you are anticipating to do or not yet?
We can talk about it. Yes. So we were talking offline, and I think I am ready to transition into the world of pageant coaching. A
Yay.
lot, right? Thank you.
Yay.
The biggest thing is like betting on yourself, and like even though I'm new to pageantry, I feel like I am able to pick things up quickly. I feel like gotten outside coaching, but overall I've been my own coach, and I've gotten very far very fast. I think that I have the expertise to train people to get to the level they want to be. So I am looking at starting that venture very soon, and I'm very excited to share that. This is my first time sharing it on the platform, so I'm happy that it is with you.
Thank you so much. I am honored to have that as your foundation of starting, your pageant coaching. That is so amazing. I'm rooting for you, Frankie, and I'm excited and I will share whatever it is that you need me to. And I wish you all the best.
I
I really
appreciate
do.
it, friend. I love you very much, and I appreciate you like staying on top of me
Yeah.
and us doing this because it was very much well needed, and I always enjoy speaking to you.
Thank you. I enjoy speaking to you too, and I love you very much, and I can't wait till the next time we hang out.
Look, you're in Hawaii, or I need to make my way out there.
Yeah. Go to the beach, chill out.
All, all the things.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Frankie. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
All righty, girl. Thanks.
Thanks. What an amazing conversation that was with Frankie. I am so excited we finally got to get that episode out. And now I want to talk to you about something that we talked about in that conversation, the cleanse. It's a 14-day whole holistic, whole food cleanse. And what this does is it helps you weed out all the confusion that you're feeling over what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat. Okay, so I have my calendar out. Today is the first day of the promotion. I want you to click in the show notes down below where it says Sugar Webinar. This webinar will explain everything. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you go down and you book a session with me because we start June 1st. You have a goal for your health, either if it's to get healthier, bring down your A1C, before your next doctor visit, whatever it may be, to gain more focus, to get more clarity at work, to understand your grounding techniques for your personal body, for your personal mind. This program is a cookie cutter program. However, I work with you one-on-one once a week during those 2 weeks of the program, and we will get down to what you need. Okay, so go ahead down in the show notes and watch the webinar first and then sign up for the breakthrough session. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and God bless. If this episode brought you a moment of peace and clarity, come connect with me on Instagram. It's where I share grounding reminders, past episodes, and support for parents who carry a lot. And when you're ready to put yourself first, book a $15 clarity call with me, 30 minutes. It's a gentle, powerful reset to help you see what's next and how to move forward in a doable way. My Instagram is @YavanaChaseCoaches, and in the bio, you can find my website, attractwell.com/YavanaChase. Until next time.